Hello and welcome to the Sound Mind podcast where bold voices meet real conversation. I'm your host, Miss Nancy Washira, and thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. In case you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that we have uploaded new videos. Here we talk about mental wellness, human rights, youth empowerment, and stories that inspire change. Today, we are lucky enough to be joined by a bright mind here who I will give a chance to introduce herself. Please welcome our guest, Karibu Sana.
Thank you so much, Nancy. So my name is Vonnet Bright. I'm a journalist, a student at Mount Kenya University, and also part of the KCA Safiri Fellowship Program and Future Investigative Journalist under training.
That is nice. Bonnet, you would
Yes.
like us to use that name, or maybe Bright? I'm used to Bright.
Whichever seems easier.
Okay, what inspired you to pursue journalism?
So when I was young in
Yes.
junior school, we had a journalism club. So even at a young age, we
Yes.
used to take magazines on Monday and Friday, and we'll cut a piece, write it in a piece of paper, and then on Monday and Friday during parade time, we would announce the happenings of last week. So I think that gave me that passion to always. It was just in me to always want to be a journalist. Even in high school, I knew what I was going to pursue in college.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Amazing. Like you never had any other course that you wanted to do? Like for example, for me, I wanted to be a lawyer or
Yeah.
maybe a journalist.
Yes.
You?
Me, I wanted to be a scientist, microbiologist. I think I was passionate about science and biology. Biology always came easy for me. If
Okay.
no matter what, it's a subject I couldn't fail. And I think I started reading books of biology and understanding how the body works from a very young age. And even when we would be taught some things in school, I already knew them because I learned about them. I think that's why I'm very strict even with my dieting. There's some type of food I wouldn't eat
Okay.
simply because of the knowledge I gained when I was very young reading those books. I was passionate about science and everything.
Science.
Yes.
And then you got an interest in journalism.
Yes, and then I got, but I think both of them were still
You were
at the
trying to
same.
weigh which is
Yes,
which.
I remember one day my friend was like, my friend wanted to be a doctor, and
Yes.
at that time I wanted to be a journalist. So she was like, "How about we pursue the same thing together?" So I remember telling her that okay, I will take two papers and put them in a wall, and then I'll strike like I'll throw something on the wall, whichever sticks, that's the one I'll choose. So I went and did that, and journalism took it.
Oh, like that's what you basically did.
Yeah, but no, I was passionate about both, and I can still pursue both if I want to. But I
Okay.
think journalism has grown in me. I think the writing and chasing stories has bigger impact in my life.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. I know you as a TV host as well.
Yeah.
How did you start your TV journey? Is it something that you had planned for, or it's just something that just came?
You see, when I was young, in nursery school, I think there's my great aunt who came to my parents, and she was like, "I want Vonnet to come to school," and she came with uniform and everything, so I can do music festival for the school. And you know, those times people use music festivals to advertise their school.
Yeah.
So I went and joined the school, and I was the leading lady in two plays. There's
Wow.
this one, Mama Liseva Sanduku, and another one, In the Dustbin, In the Dustbin. So I remember my cousins calling, and they were like, "Vonnet, we saw you on TV. I didn't know you did this, you did that." And I think that's the time when a lady prophesied on my life, and she was like, "Young lady, you're going to go far with that microphone." And
Wow.
when years passed, even in when we came to Mombasa, that is, I remember in JCC TV.
Yes.
Now my church now, we usually have announcements for news on Sunday, and I think there was only one lady, Grace, who was doing it every Sunday. So one day my brother comes home and she's like, Mbona Grace is the one who's always doing news na saa zingine amechoka. See, why
You
don't you
join
go and,
her.
yeah, why you have a good voice, why don't you go and do that? So he introduced me to Francis, and I started training under them. And I think on the first time I did the news, I think that's when I started learning how to be in front of a camera and learning
Okay.
all those things.
Were
Yes.
you at first, like, were you in secondary school that time?
Yes, I was in high school at the time. Yes.
Wow. And then
Yes.
you started working on TV that time.
Yes, I started, but it was more of service. So I wasn't like, it wasn't for pay or
Yeah,
anything
I
like that.
know.
So I started just working as a service, but with the mentality that when I'm done with high school, I'm going to pursue this.
Wow. Can you describe your first experience on camera?
My first is scared. I think for the first time when you look at the
How did
screens
it
and the
go?
lights, I think on the
Like, you
first,
were sweating,
no, I was tense.
the voice couldn't come out.
No, okay, the voice did, but I think with the we had to do a few takes.
Yes.
But I was tense, and I think I remember Grace telling me that you should smile more. People are asking why don't you smile, but because in that moment I'm
You are so
focused on the
serious.
script. Yes, I'm just focused on the script, so I forget to smile or do any other thing. But I think with time you learn how to relax in front of the camera.
Okay. What's one challenge that you've faced as a young person who is in media, and how did you overcome it? Is this okay, something that you've faced, or maybe you're facing right now, and how you're
Yes.
trying to overcome? Yes.
I think the challenges that we face as journalists is sometimes you don't have people to work with you to help you in your journalistic journey. So it's very rare for you to find somebody who can work with you and train you as you do your job. As in, this is not the way to write. You should use you should be more objective when you're writing your articles and stuff like that. And I think
Okay.
that's why God brought good people my way. I think when I first met the Media Council of Kenya and started going to the meetings of Mombasa Press Club. I think when I started writing the articles, that is when
Yes.
I think we met the Bloggers Association. And that's my journey in actually meeting media personalities. At that time, it was just you depend on the lecturers and your friends, but also your classmates and friends are also growing and learning things. So I think with that, it helped a lot because they opened my mind to opportunities and to I also could watch what they're doing and I could improve what I'm doing. So for me, I think it was out of sheer luck, but I think favor. Yes.
Okay, that's great. And do they like kind of share everything they have? Ama sometimes you need to learn from yourself.
Sometimes I think you need to learn for yourself, but also don't be afraid to ask. Because one thing I know great people like, or
Yes.
people in their profession who have been there for a long time, they like to share how they got there. And they like to talk about themselves. So take that opportunity to ask questions like, how can I write better? I remember one day when I wrote my first article and I shared it with Mr. Omi and Maureen Modi and the others. I remember Mr. Omi saying, the article is good, but maybe try being objective. So I asked him, what do you mean by being objective? Could you help me out? Then he told me that you just learn along the way, but in all, the article is really nice. So with that, it
Yes.
helped me to now learn. I wanted to know more because he's already told me a problem that I need to rectify. So I went and Googled how can I be more objective and stuff like that. And I learned, and with that, my next article was better than my last. So improving
Okay.
myself as I go.
That's amazing. Okay, and how has your experience been as a young woman in media? Have you ever experienced any stereotypes or maybe any unique challenge?
I think some stereotype that a lot of people usually say it's the pretty privilege. They always say that, oh, the women, when you get opportunities because you're a woman, because you're pretty, because you've been favored. But they don't understand that it also takes work. And as a woman, actually, in any world, most of the works are dominated by men. You have to do twice as much, twice as hard, and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
it's even I remember even when I was talking to my lecturer, she was telling me that don't depend on pretty privilege, because when you go to those rooms, it's not as people say it is. You get there and it's your profession, your professionalism, your talent that will speak for you. And I think that was a good advice from coming from her.
Okay, what about they talk about gender-based violence in a lot of working spaces. Have you ever experienced one in journalism?
No, not in particular. I've never experienced that.
But
I
you hear
think
of such stories, right?
yes, I've heard of such stories. Yes.
Okay. And what do you think needs to change to create more space for women in media, especially in Mombasa?
I think, as we spoke earlier, I think journalists need to come together, and we need to come together and say, because each one of us has different talents and we
Yes.
bring different things to the table. We need to form a community, which
Yes.
I'm grateful for the Mombasa Press Club, having a community where we get to share with one another, learn from each other. We create security with one another. If you're a good host and I'm a good writer, we can collaborate with one another in writing a story, in creating a program.
Yes.
And actually, I think that would be a good thing.
Okay.
Something good to
Okay,
see.
do you want to say that they do not work together or something? Like right now,
Yeah.
do they work together?
I think we do, but a few of us. Some people are still, or I think maybe because not so many people have been informed that there are these
Okay.
groups. Like us, we are lucky enough to know about the Mombasa Press Club, the Media Council of Kenya. You find a lot of people in the media space, even in not just journalism, but also content creators and stuff. Most of them don't know about these groups, that they can be part of a family instead of just doing everything on their own. So I
But
think Mhm.
I personally think that is the aspect of like wanting to gain by yourself, not with others. You get
yeah,
might be the reason.
could be the reason, but I think also a part of it could be that they just don't know. No one has reached out to them.
Ignorance,
Yes, yeah.
right? Okay, you're both a student and a TV host. How do you manage your time and mental health?
As a student, I think I like having a timetable. I'm an organized person.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know how to. I don't know how
You
to.
still do timetable even in campus?
Yes,
Okay.
for me that
How
is
does
not.
it work?
I have a timetable, so it keeps me on track and helps me know like what am I doing tomorrow, instead of just being like I'm just going through the motions of life. I don't like that. I like knowing, like I like my life being organized. So in the morning, if I wake up, I know
Yes.
if I'm waking, am I waking up to pray first and then read, because I'm also a leader in church, so I need to like know like what am I doing at a certain time, so that one part of my life does not succeed when the other fails. So in the morning, it could be like I have prayer, and then I can be reading a book. I could, depending on what I'm doing through the day, maybe I have a project that I need to shoot, or I need a class that I need to attend. So all of it is usually planned. So before I go to sleep, I always know what I'm doing the next day. So with that, it helps me get through the day. If I have everything cluttered together, I feel overwhelmed. Yeah.
What about your mental health? Like, don't you have bad days, good days? How do you manage those?
Yeah. Okay. So for my mental health, I like reading good books. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I think the first.
Fictions?
No. I like books by Robert Greene. I like the book by Benny Carson, Think Big. And I think I read that at a very young age.
Okay.
And from that age, I always learned that I can do anything as long as I put my energy towards it, and nothing is impossible for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so even my Instagram, mostly it's full. I follow a lot of writers and inspirational speakers and all
Motivational
this
speakers, right?
yeah, motivational speakers. So even if I'm having a bad day, if I scroll through my Instagram, I'm going to find a word that's going to speak to me.
Wow, that's been positive.
Yeah.
I just wish I'm like, it's hard to survive with this economy media and everything that's happening in this world.
Yeah.
And again, in media industry, you just find a lot of people just there to criticize your work.
Yeah.
And then they're like trying to make you feel bad about yourself. There are those people. Okay, let's come to that point. Media comes with a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
especially in social media and criticism.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle negativity or maybe just online trolling? Have you ever experienced that? Let's begin there.
Online trolling.
Yeah, like maybe you've just done a video for
Yes.
yourself, and then someone comes and comments something that's very negative.
Yeah. And so I think sometimes they don't even just do it online. You might just hear a friend telling you
Physically.
not physically, but somebody else might
Rumors.
tell. I think for some
Yeah.
people it's in that, but because I just started off, maybe I haven't had those. But what I can say is mostly these trolls are people who have nothing to do. Because if you have something to do, why would you take your precious time to go and troll somebody else?
But there are people who are perfect, and instead of correcting you in a better way,
Yeah.
they will just do it in a negative way so that you can feel bad about yourself. Have you not find such people?
I think what you should do is just understand and believe in yourself and your abilities, and understand that you're an individual, and you keep growing as you go on. And even when you see journalists like Larry Madowo or Yvonne Okwara, they didn't start perfectly. They started somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
They made mistakes. So you can either just understand that even if I make a mistake tomorrow, if I make a mistake today, that is, tomorrow I'm going to be better. I would have learned from my mistake, and with that you're growing and becoming better and better. And I remember when I started my show on the first episode in school, when I shot it, and I think the lecturer came in, and he was looking at it and he wanted to see what I did. So I was criticizing my own work. I was like, oh, I said the wrong word. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said something else. I think there's something wrong with my voice. I was shaking my head too much. And then the lecturer was like, no, don't expect to be perfect on the first trial.
But that is you. When it's coming from you, it's usually very easy.
Yeah.
But when it comes from someone else, it sounds bad.
I think let's grow a thick skin. A thick skin.
So you've said that you haven't come around something like this.
Yeah, since I've started. Yeah.
I'm trying to put it in a face that you do a clip and then it goes viral, and then all the comments are negative. Yeah. What can you do in that situation?
I think first of all, just breathe.
Don't you cry into a car? Like, you don't get emotional?
I think in that space, I think because it hasn't happened to me.
That's why you say so.
Yes, I might not know what to do.
Yes.
But if that ever happened to me, let's take it in that, Nini. I think even as much as I would cry, but I will understand that I'm human.
The resilience. You have resilience in you.
Yeah, no, I'll cry. You might cry. Some things are painful. Some people can say stuff to you and it's painful. Of course you'll cry. You're human.
Sure.
Yeah. Your heart is not made of stone. So yeah, people can hurt you, but you'll cry. But then that will make you stronger. The fact that it didn't destroy you and you still got up the next day to shoot another video, that means that you're becoming stronger and more resilient towards the comments that they're making. I think
you should tell people that. Because a lot of people start, and when they get negativities, you find them stopping. I don't know why.
No, they always say consistency. Just keep going no matter what. Even if you listen to speeches of the greatest people, the great actors and successful people, you'll find that they were criticized at some point. I remember Oprah Winfrey, when she decided to open her TV station, she got criticism. Everyone was like, oh, that's going to be a flop. That's a terrible decision. What has she done? So I remember her saying that she had two options: to either go take a cold shower or eat bread, because she loves eating bread. So what she did was she went and took a cold shower, and she said, okay, I'm just gonna let this pass, and I'm still going to do this no matter what. But if you look today, the Oprah Winfrey channel, it's doing well. So sometimes people will throw stones at you. People will try to criticize your work. Of course, you'll cry. You'll feel bad and stuff like that. But get up. what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Stronger.
Take the next step.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And again, they do say that a fruit that bears, a tree that bears fruits,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
People throw a lot of stones on
yes.
it. I don't know how it goes, but
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. It
if you
says,
have something,
yeah.
like people will come to you, will come for you anytime. If you do something, you'll find people coming for you.
Yeah.
With negativities, some with positivities.
Yes.
So you just have to accept them the way they are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the nini is like the tree, because you'll never find people throwing stones at a fruitless tree.
Yeah, sure.
If people only throw stones at mango, to the trees that produce fruits that are edible. So if you have, if there's something that you carry in you, a purpose, a dream, maybe you're good at something, people will want to throw stones at you because they see something beautiful in you. You might not see it. You might be asking, why are they throwing stones at me and not at somebody else? But it's because you carry something in you that maybe you might not be able to see it. But I think that's what people should understand. The more criticism you get, that means the more talented you are, or the bigger your purpose in life is. Yeah. Even the devil doesn't chase empty vessels. When trials come your way, it means you have a calling in your life. Yes, I am.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Do you think the media is doing enough to represent youth voices?
They're trying. They're trying, but I think we need to do more.
What's your comment regarding the demonstrations that we do have in the country every now and then, the Gen Z movement?
Yes.
Is the media featuring it enough for us to say, yes, we are proud of the media, the work the media is doing?
I think what I can say about the protests that have been happening lately, the media coverage, even during the Reject Finance Bill, was really good. And at least they showcased the different cries of the common wananchi, the youths, and we had dialogues even with the media personalities and stuff like that. And I think the media is doing their job in trying to make our voices heard as much as possible. The problem is the government seems to not want to collaborate with the people, because I remember there was a dialogue that the president was to have with some youth leaders, and some of them refused to go because they were afraid something bad might happen to them. But when you find that when the media could call them in the TV station like Citizen, I think we had Jeff Koinange having a chat with the youth leaders at that time, and they showed up and they stated their views, and I think that was good. Yeah.
Okay, and what about situations when what do I mean? Like, for example, we are on a strike in the country, and then like the journalists are trying to voice it over their media houses. Like, for example, we saw it happening back in the previous year, when we were having the Gen Z movement. And then the Standard was writing stories about protest and whatever was happening in the country. But you'd find people in the X app saying with hashtags like terrorism in media, sewage journalism. What is the opinion on such people and the role of journalists in such a thing?
I think it comes with the generalization. Just because one journalist is a sellout doesn't mean all journalists are a sellout. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to critically look at what they're doing. Do they mean well, or are they a sellout? You know, if a media house is a sellout, you'll know, because I think even during the Reject Finance Bill, we could see a lot of channels were actually out trying to voice and to showcase what's happening in Kenya, until I think there's a certain point where it was shut off and stuff like that. They weren't allowed to air what was happening. I remember KTN aired until the last minute. So you find that the media is backing up the people, because they understand that without the people, we are nothing, because they need us and we need them to also voice our truth, voice our stories. Yes.
But I also love the way the regulation authorities does. For example, when we were not allowed to air out the Communication Authority went on and talked about it. The Media Council of Kenya still talked about it. And that's why you see NTV had that gut to continue doing it,
Yes.
even though the government prohibited that. Do you think like we need strong team, or it's still well with like the Media Council of Kenya, the Communication Authority of Kenya? Is it still well, or maybe there's some role that they need to strengthen their capacity in regulating the TVs, the journalists themselves, protecting them? Because we also find some who went to cover maandamano, they were shot, some were tear gassed. Like, do we still need something to make it strong, to avoid such instances in future?
I think the problem comes in that the journalist is always out chasing stories and telling other people's stories, but we never tell their story. We tend to forget them, that they also have a story to tell. So a journalist can be harmed at a protest, but people, that story doesn't get aired. It might get little airtime or something like that, because they are the ones on the field.
Yes,
And
but remember, there is an authority that's supposed to talk for them.
yes, the Media Council of Kenya.
Yeah.
I think, if more okay, I don't know if, I think it's optional, but if more journalists get accredited by the Media Council of Kenya, and the Media Council of Kenya to build a stronger body and a stronger community with even the human rights activists and the Human Rights Association, so that when anything happens to one journalist, sote tunazusha at the same time. Ili voices zetu zisikizwe. I think we had a dialogue where they said that journalists themselves, they don't show up for journalist protest. You know, these those
Kabisa, by the way, that is true.
Yeah, that's one big problem. Like, guys,
The
show up.
unity, like we need that unity. At least when something happens to one of us, tunakuwa sote tuko njiani. For example, in the last like 1 week ago, there was a video that was shot by Larry Madowo. You know how it went viral? Because people, but instead, those were not even journalists. The bloggers made it go viral. Because you remember, he shot about the MP who was overtaking, and then
I saw that.
Anamwambia ambia pelekea Ruto. And then ikafikia Ruto cha ukweli, you get? So like that was good unity that people showed online. How I wish even for the journalists tungekuwa tuna hiyo unity. As in kitu ikifanyikia mtu mmoja, wanahabari wote wana raise. Again, I feel like there is still a gap with the Media Council and the journalists themselves. At least when I'm accredited by the Media Council, I believe I expect them to protect me when something comes up on my side.
But you don't want to show up for their training events, but kitu kikufanyikia ndio unawapigia
unasema si mlinipea kadi yenu, sasa nyinyi ndio mnafaa mnikujie. But sasa tunafaa at least pia situonyeshe the unity and the urge that we want them to protect us.
True. I remember even we had a meeting in Mombasa Press Club, where there is this human rights activist who said that sometimes we need to stand up for others, even though when you see a few journalists going on the streets about a certain topic or Nini, we should also show up for them, even though it doesn't touch us. Because he stated that there's this thing that says, when they came for them, we stayed quiet, but when they came for us, sisi ndo hiyo time ndo sasa tunazusha. But even when they come for other people, sote tuzushe, because tukizusha sote at the same time, they'll never come for us. So with that, we'll benefit in the long run. So let's show up for one another.
Sawa. What does journalism mean to you personally, beyond the fame and recognition?
Journalism to me is like an opportunity to voice the voiceless. It makes me a hero in my own world through my writing, because I'm telling a story of somebody else. I'm shedding light to something that people don't know about, which will drive change to a certain place. Like if you do a story about about women being demoralized at a certain place, people will ask questions, and they would want to know, why is this happening to this certain group? If you do a story of youth being jobless and not able to access job, if you do a story of corruption,
Yes.
it will spark a conversation with the
Okay.
people, and people will want solutions. They will ask questions. So with that, you're actually creating change in your place through your writing, or through your channel. Yes.
For the longest time, by the way, there is a question that I've remembered.
Yeah.
For the longest time, people have complained that journalists do go to tell a story so that they can get paid, and when you don't pay them to air your story, they kill the story. As a young journalist, how do you see that?
That we need to be objective in our work. We need to not have personal interest.
Does that really mean that you have to be paid to cover a story?
No, you don't have to be paid, because first, it's your responsibility as a journalist. It comes first before any other thing. And your responsibility as a journalist is to tell the story as it is, not with favorism, and not because somebody paid you to do it, but you do it because it's your first priority as a journalist to tell the story. Yeah, that should always come first.
Okay, right. And what is the most impactful story you've ever covered?
I think the most impactful, there's one story I wrote about why Mombasa's drainage system is so bad, which
Like right
is,
now?
yes, during
I
rainy
know it's
season,
raining,
it
yes.
can be a lot. I remember one day I was alighting from a matatu heading home, and the road was flooded. So I got so pissed. So I was like, why is our drainage system so
And
bad?
then you just came up with a story,
Yes,
as a
it's a
writer.
question. Yeah,
Yes.
because it was, and I remember it got a lot of I got a lot of
Reactions.
feedbacks, yes, and reaction. Everyone is saying, oh, it's the government, because I don't know, they're not doing such and such a thing. But also, I think as much as it's also the government and the city council, it's also on us, because kuna hizi signs zinasema usitupe
Exactly.
takataka hapa. Why
Tunatupa.
would you like unatupa takataka kwa a sewer pipe, alafu ikiblock, sasa ni serikali nini.
Yeah.
I think we as people, also need to take responsibility to care about our community, ourselves, to be able, ukiona, to be able to know that hata kama ni matakataka zako, there's always garbage collectors. Ask, where are they taking this garbage? Because I think that can also play in the long run into the green economy. And I think, no wonder they banned the use of plastic paper bags, because it was a lot of problem. The sewers were being clogged up, and I think
Yes.
Mombasa was still facing the same problem, though I see them rebuilding the sewer line.
But again, I find it as a story that Kenyans have. For example, you don't find a place that is swampy and
Yeah.
you want to purchase that land and build in that place. That means that is a water catchment, right?
Yes.
And when you build a house there, definitely the water won't stand there.
Yes.
That means the water will go and stand at the road.
Yes, true.
That is the problem that we're facing as Kenyans. Sometimes we have to observe what is there for our safety.
Yes.
But if we don't do that, that's where you find, okay, if we keep blaming the government, ni sawa.
Yes.
Serikali haijajenga drainage ya kutosha, lakini wewe mbona ulienda ukajenga mahali ambapo maji yalikuwa supposed kusimama, sasa
Yeah.
ndio nyumba yako iko, that's where unapata maji yanaenda yanasimama. Kwa nini? I feel like even as journalists, you need to be airing things like this.
Yeah.
And also the government should also be engaging journalists when they are doing the drainage stories. For example, if they find a house that is built in a place they were supposed to build the drainage thing,
Yeah.
let them not take money. You know, corruption is real.
Sure.
Because if someone is staying in a place like that, that means they have paid to stay there. I feel like they should be engaging journalists in such thing so that they can also tell such stories. At least tujue. Like for me, I'm able to understand now that I've done my research. Someone elsewhere who have not done such a research,
Yes.
do not know such things. Wao wataka sasa Mombasa yetu imejaa maji kila mahali.
Gavana anafanya nini?
Si ndio?
Yeah, and I think also ni tuzushe pia tuulize, ask the right question. Whose job is it to
Kabisa.
ensure that the water flows in the right direction? Usienda tu serikali saidia, governor afanyi kitu.
MCA
There's
wetu
somebody who's
tumempa
supposed to
kazi.
do there. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
somebody's responsibility to actually do that. And also your responsibility as a Kenyan to kuzusha, to report. When you see something, report it. Yeah.
Thank you. And where do you see yourself in the coming 5 years?
In the coming 5 years, I see myself established in my journalism career, and probably I would have started my lyrical company on the side, which is a film company where I would like to start telling stories.
Okay.
Telling stories of people. And also in 5 years I could be heading to marriage too, so heading to start a family. Yeah, I think that's in 2030. 2030, that is.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Congratulations.
thank
Are you
you.
seeing someone?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I told you I have an organized
You just
life.
manifest for
Yes,
that.
I manifest
Nice.
things into existence.
That is nice. And do you like kind of have a mentor in journalism?
I mean, somebody that I look up to,
Yes.
or somebody that works. Somebody
That
is it,
works with you, and also someone that you look
I
up
look
to.
up to. I think there's someone that I look up to could be. I like Oprah Winfrey with her hosting show. I also like what Yvonne Okwara does, and I like Candace Owens. How outspoken she is in telling stories fearlessly, no matter what. And the people who work with me, I wouldn't say it's one person. I would say it's a lot of people. Even starting in JCC TV, I had somebody there training me. Let's go to school. I have lecturers who are always there with me, helping me out. And I think even right now, as I'm venturing into the writing industry, I talked about the Omidala helping me with the writing part, just giving me feedback. As much as it could be just one feedback, but that means a lot. Yes,
Yeah.
And these meetings that we get to go to, the ones that we have, Mr. Olo of the Kenya Correspondents Association, you meet different people, and all of them they help you in one way or the other.
Okay. And what is your message to someone who wants to pursue in journalism now that a lot of people are saying journalism isn't paying in Kenya? And again, they're trying to discourage young people because a lot of TVs, and not TVs, I've seen it in Reddit most, they hire comedians over journalists and influencers. What is your message to a person who wants to pursue journalism, but they're being discouraged by such things?
Okay, so the first question you should ask yourself is how bad do you want it? Don't just chase. A lot of people chase it because I think there's a certain time people chase something because they've said there's job opportunities. Now you find a huge number of people going to that
And
career.
money.
Yeah, and then by the time you graduate,
Yes.
you guys are so many that some of you lack work.
Yeah.
So I think passion. If you're passionate about something, that alone will drive you. Even when people say there's no work, there's no job, you'll be able to actually create work for yourself because you're that passionate. You'll be able to fight through, even if they're hiring these comedians and other, they can never take your position.
You know your price,
yes,
right?
you believe in your work and your abilities. You'll get there one way or the other. Even them, when they started in comedy, they weren't the best. They started from somewhere. I mean, good for them that they're hired, but maybe comedy is not for me. Mine is, I'm a journalist. Just keep going down the path that you want, and eventually you'll succeed in it.
Kabisa. And don't you tell them opportunities in journalism? A lot of people think that being a journalist, you're just supposed to be on TV, on radio. But I'm for sure there are a lot of opportunities in journalism, things to do with communication.
Yes.
There's you can be a TV host,
True.
a social media manager, you can be a photographer, a videographer, a production team. How do they call that?
Producer.
Yeah, producer. You can be someone, a podcast host as well. You know, nowadays podcasts are better because you can as well be hosting your podcast in Spotify, and you get paid for that.
True.
In YouTube as well. So me, I feel like someone doesn't need to give up. I know there are a lot of things that are said out here.
Yeah.
Fulani alifanya journalism, unamwona kwenye yuko
Yeah,
anauza
ameanguka.
manguo huko.
Oh,
No, kuna ile
ameanguka.
sasa wanatumia kama
Yeah.
example.
Yes.
Anauza manguo huko, sauti yake anatumia kumarket zile manguo zake. Zingine unasikia wakisema fulani alifanya journalism, sahi yuko mahali fulani. But actually, it's not a problem with journalism, by the way.
Yeah.
I know of many nurses who haven't gotten work. I know of many lawyers still hawana kazi.
Sure.
So that is a pandemic that we're having as a country.
Yeah.
And you just need to know your purpose. Like me nafanya journalism, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. You get?
Sure. And your mind will be open to opportunities.
Sure.
Even if you don't get work, you'll be like, I'm going to create my own.
Okay,
unaweza anza na simu yako tu. Just start shooting. With that, with time you gain followers, you start getting paid, and then now you can afford a camera. I think we've seen a lot of online journalists growing in that manner. Yes, yes, and bloggers and yes.
With time,
gradually.
Kabisa. What is your message to someone who is listening to you? Maybe something they don't know about you before we complete the interview.
If for someone who's listening to me, I am a passionate person. Everything that I think of doing, I have intention with it. So I like being driven actually with everything that I'm doing, and I don't easily give up. I believe in taking steps of faith. So once I have an idea, I know that idea doesn't just come from me, it comes from the Almighty God. And if He put that idea in me, it means that I am able to achieve it. And it doesn't matter if other people don't believe in that idea. The fact that God put it in me, He will allow me to be able to achieve that dream. So for the viewers, believe in yourself, and maybe one day we'll meet up there. The sky is big enough to hold a lot of stars. Okay, so keep going and keep pushing in every aspect of your life, be it in business, be it in acting, be it in being a doctor or a teacher, whatever you're chasing, just keep dreaming and keep pushing. You'll make it.
Thank you. Now we are having our quick fire segment. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Very ready?
Yes.
Tea or coffee?
Oh my God. Tea.
Your favorite Kenyan TV personality?
Yvonne Okwara.
Your dream interview guest?
Dream interview guest?
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot. Let me pick one. I think to one day host the president of that time. That would be something.
Wow.
That would mean I've achieved it.
Okay.
I've made it.
One word that describes you?
Vigilant.
Message to Kenyan youth chasing their dreams?
Don't give up.
Thank you so much, Brian, for sharing your story with us. That was amazing.
Nancy.
You've shown your passion, your discipline, and I really love your courage. For real.
Thank you.
You've been an inspiring story for me. You know, I just found you being so much focused.
Yeah.
You're young and you've at least discovered what you want in life. That's amazing.
Thank
a lot
you.
of people at your age do not know. Okay, I don't mean I'm that old, but yes, a lot of people, especially our generation, do not know what they want. You'll find someone doing something just because someone else is doing it. And then after getting some discouragement, they stop doing it and then like shift. I've seen people doing that.
Yeah.
I'm doing journalism and then someone comes and tells me, you know what, journalism doesn't pay nowadays. I've seen a lot of people not getting paid here. They're working in the farms, you know, and then you stop doing that and you go for nursing or something else. And
that doesn't
that
work
is
out.
not your passion.
Yes.
You know, there is this that we call passion.
Yes.
Your passion passion keeps you moving. If, like, for example, for me, I went to leadership,
Yeah.
but I'm back to journalism. Why?
Yes.
I love my passion in journalism and writing, you see.
Yeah.
So that is it. You're a good person. And to our listeners out there, please remember to share our videos. You know, the more you share our videos, the more YouTube will recommend people to watch our video. And to those who listen from Spotify, thank you so much. And remember, every voice matters in our podcast. Your story is powerful and your dreams are valid, as Bright have told you here. Until next time, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye. Tell them bye.
Oh, hi guys. Bye and see you next time.